I've been on this journey since 1998 at COP4 and seeing all the history of confusion, chaos, lack of action. But the UNFCCC is failing indigenous peoples. It's a crisis of CO2 and climate colonialism as the world confronts escalating climate breakdown, violence, and militarization. The UNFCCC stands at a pivotal junction, not just in technical negotiations that you see here at the SB 62, but in its entire ethical and political foundations. We are witnessing negotiations by the governmental parties, especially by the wealthy countries, entrenching climate inaction, desperately repackaging the continuance of colonial structures and capital logics into a fossil fuel business as usual and a finance as usual UN conference that's failing indigenous peoples on multiple fronts. As indigenous peoples, we know the land does not and never has recognized colonial borders. Neither does the wind, neither does the rivers and the oceans, neither does climate collapse. Our communities are being displaced not by migration, but by extraction, by false solutions that privatize land and land takings by corporations and by war and greed. Our Indigenous Environmental Network and our local and global movement building with Indigenous peoples and non-Indigenous peoples are clear what our frontline and frontline communities have long known. Wall Street investment banks and global financial institutions are complicit in the climate crisis. Despite their greenwashing and false promises, these banks continue to bankroll the expansion of the fossil fuel polluters and the false solutions that deepen climate injustice, land grabbing, and human rights abuse. From carbon markets to carbon offsets to carbon capture and sequestration to solar radiation modification and to many other geoengineering techno fixes. These schemes are distractions from the real solution that is rooted in indigenous sovereignty, indigenous traditional knowledge, land and oceans defense, and a just and energy transition away from an extractive capitalism and fossil fuel economy. Our lands and waters are not sacrifice zones, and our peoples are not collateral damage. So we are organizing. We are organizing within many movements to protect the sacredness of Mother Earth and Father Sky, not for profit, but for life. Thank you.